Like what percentages, like if of all the 100% of every distance from that exists on the Earth, what percentage of those? Yeah, okay, but I mean, if we take some like limited, put some. But anyways, yeah, I mean, technically maybe there are, but if you took like all the major points, what percentage of those would have to be off for them to be deceiving us about the flight paths and the Earth shape?
Don't know. Don't know.
Your answer should be if even one of them are off, because you got your whole Haversine formula and all the rest of it, man. Even one is off, you're cooked.
Have you found one?
For Gleason, they would have to be lighting and hiding things in the Antarctica region. So if you guys want to stick to that you could do that. For the dual pole, they'll have to be hiding things around the equator in the Pacific. Not just somewhere, like something massive over there that they'd have to be hiding. For Gleason, it's the Antarctica on the globe split apart and made flat at the outer edges. For dual pole, it's the antipode of Africa, wherever you're focusing the map on, in the water somewhere, split apart and made flat. That discrepancy is the same.
Which is why Sydney to Hawaii looks silly on that map.
So you mean like you mean like a land continent the size of North America that's south of the South Pole?
I have a visual I made to show it. One sec.
Ooh, so do I.
Because I mean that would match what Admiral Byrd said. So
All right. So, dual pole.
which is weird. It's like, is that the official narrative? Because I think that's what that would be classified as. And so it's weird to not accept that official narrative, but then cling on to like moon landing and heliocentrism. It almost feels like it's a little bit of picking and choosing.
There's Sydney to LAX in the chat.
Yeah, it's not that much different. I'm not saying this is what it is or whatever, but I mean, that's sort of the comparable route there. It looks pretty much the same.
What? That is the route that it travels on a globe.
Yeah,
Why
but
doesn't it go south of Africa?
I happen to already have that one, like in my folder, so I just went and saw it real quick. Again, I'm not posting I'm not saying that's the exact map or anything, but the one I posted in response to that is pretty similar. Like you're showing it. Yeah, it goes down to the to that side of Antarctica, up around South America. I mean, they're claiming it's on a ball, whereas on a plane, it's just because the equivalent of that route, it's kind of partly a small circle route, but then it kind of angles up and goes into the other hemisphere or whatever, into the northern part.
Why is it not going south of Africa?
It is. It looks almost the same as yours.
It's south of Antarctica.
Over Johannesburg or something.
It's doing the same thing. It leaves Sydney, Australia, goes around on these images, it's the bottom part of Antarctica, Christ. And then up around to off the coast of South America, up Middle America, and then up to LAX.
Dude, can you not see the Geo's picture and your picture? Like you're literally showing a dual pole.
Right. Can you see my picture? Right, the one I just posted. Why is it not doing that?
That's what the globe is. They just have the Pacific, the blue side of the ball. It's basically just the dual pole on the front side of the ball.
Jesus Christ. Do you even understand the question?
Welcome to Flat Earth.
You're asking why would they go straight because that would
Why
ruin the
wouldn't
mod.
they go straight?
Because they're using a globe map to navigate themselves around the world.
Okay. What is the distance that it's flying if it's flying that route on this map?
If the plane and the pilots are operating by a global map, as you guys would suggest, of course they're going to take the longer route. They're not even going to be aware that there is a shorter route.
Can a plane fly that far?
It can fly that far on your globe model, apparently.
No. If this is what the world looks like with a bird's eye view, right, then that distance from the red line distance, right, we can work that out. Can a plane fly that distance? I would say no.
Can you tell me what the difference in the distance is between the dual model and the globe?
Sure. This one looks to be about 20,000 kilometers, maybe a little bit more. And the distance, hold on a sec. Fly LAX to Sydney is about 12,000 kilometers. So can planes fly 20,000 kilometers? And also, it goes over Hawaii. So there's an even bigger hook up the top left there.
Wait, what are these distance discrepancies? Are you trying to compare these two? Here, I'm going to repost them. You're trying to compare those two because they're almost like they're very, very similar.
Right.
I mean, I don't know
They're
if I don't know
similar.
if anyone has like, okay, you're given certain distances with a globe because, as is given and what you think it is the case. In terms of what the Earth actually is, though, like obviously you've never physically measured that actual distance yourself, and so you have to go off certain like inferences from these other sources. And I can't say that I've mapped the entire Earth where I could give you a planar version and be like, oh, hey, here's exactly what the distance matches and how it matches the flight time. I would also need to know like what actually path they're taking upon the ground. It's one thing what they tell us, but what they're actually taking. But those two I just posted, they're
I've
obviously
got GPS logs for this flight.
those two are obviously very comparable because if you take the graticule, like the two pole like azimuthal equal area type of projections are still using the graticule. So the distances, I'm not going to say they're like exactly the same because I don't know that to say that, but they would be comparable because essentially, yes, they'd be very similar. Which is why your red line and the green line on the one I already had saved are quite similar.
The lines are similar. What is the distance? What is the length of those lines? Nowhere near the same. On a globe, that's like, was it 12,000 kilometers? And on this map, let me check how big it is. 1 second. Whoops. Control Z. Let me see how big that is. I presume we're going with 60 nautical miles per degree. That is 1,294.
Well, also the green line I drew may not be the exact replica. It looks like it goes a little closer to South America there. Like it'd be a little bit of a tighter, kind of more, but it's obviously quite similar.
But why does it not take the straight line between Sydney and LAX? And how far would that straight line be? And how far is the curve? The curve would be huge. The curve would be like probably 30-something thousand Ks. It's an insane distance. How are you meant to get there in like 12, 13 hours?
Well, flights aren't plotted out for like distances. It's more for convenience on drop off points for like interconnecting flights. That's their main concern is shuffling people around, not direct flights. So it's not
This
like
is a
it's an
direct
indication towards anything.
This is the direct flight, and this is the quickest flight to get there.
Right. But you're asking why they don't take that. And that's not their
Right.
priority.
Who are they fucking dropping off in the ocean?
Well, this is Jeremy's thing about they lead the target and they don't lead the target.
So this is
And
Coriolis. Like what?
Well, yeah, it does get into that.
You guys
whole-
are slightly turning. Yeah, when your pilots fly these lawns, they say they're slightly turning, correcting for Coriolis effect.
Right, and they could actually just be making left to right turns on a planar surface, and then calling that the globe distance, and using that as the transfer for a great circle route. So a great circle route equivalent on a plane might actually be a curved path left to right horizontally. Whereas they claim that that's a great circle, which is straight, but they're making this turn for Coriolis. So they actually are turning. They think they're accounting for Coriolis against the globe, but they might just actually be making a left to right path on a flat Earth.
Let me just work out the straight line distance between those 2 points. Give me a sec. I should actually put this in the code. But
You could say the same thing about the globe, though. Like in that one picture you drew, like why don't you just cut over Africa and go that way? You could say the same thing. It looks like
if that's what the Earth looked like, then I would. Fuck. Like, are you entirely missing the point here? If this is what the Earth looks like, this dual pole thing, I would go over Africa. But I don't.
No, I'm saying you could do that on the globe too. It'd be the same. You could do it on either. The thing is that they're given certain paths that they're told are the shortest routes. That if you're going to fly from that place to that place using your GPS, using the locating systems, you're just going to take that path. And like Jeremy does have a whole argument. Jeremy does have a whole argument that they're not taking the shortest path. So I mean, that would branch off into that. But I mean, that's
I'm about to tell you how far it is.
That's where this deception, dude. I haven't measured it, so I can't tell you. Like I'm just being intellectually.
I'm working it out.
But the thing is, we're talking about there would have to be a deception in the mapping system if the Earth's shape is not what they're telling us it is, which I think we said we all agree with that. And now we're getting into some of the ways that could be occurring.
1 second. Give me a minute. 1540.
No, we'd have to validate it. I mean, to verify these things. You're going off what you're given and you're calculating. You got red yarn on the wall with all the connections.
1264. $17.46. Oh, Jesus. Okay, the straight line distance is 24,700 kilometers.
Where are you getting this from? You're trying to do 1 degree per 69 miles on that dual pole, or what are you doing?
Yeah, of latitude, yeah.
Well, then that's going to be the same on the globe.
It is 1 degree per 69 miles of latitude on a globe. What do you mean?
Well, if that's the same on the dual pole, then you're not going to get into different distances just using that.
Oh. If it's 1 degree per 69 miles from the North Pole to the South Pole, right, that's the scale for the map I'm using. So the distance from the North Pole to the South Pole is 20,000 kilometers. And then that yellow line, the yellow straight line that goes from Sydney to LA near Africa is 24,700 kilometers. And you got to times it by pi over 2 approximately to get the curve distance.
Yo, you're just saying it's 1 degree over
38,800.
You're just saying it's 1 degree per 69 miles, though. You've never actually like measured that or checked that or anything. So
Have I personally measured it? No, but I gave 3 examples last night.
Where's the measurement?
Red's Rhetoric has physically done it. There were teams sent to Ecuador and teams sent to Lapland to measure it. It was measured.
Okay, let's go over just one at a time. Can't go over all 3 of them at once. Let's go over Red's Rhetorics.
Yep.
But they don't have any from 0 to 30 degrees or from like 70 to 90. They have like 0.
What, as in the whole way?
You guys already tore us out.
They did 3 degrees. 3 degrees in Ecuador and a few degrees in Lapland.
Well, we know it slows down when the sun gets closer, or when any celestial body gets closer down to the horizon. It slows down. Planar would just be the actual real planar geometry for stars going over a planar surface. They slow down as they get, because they're like compressing as they get down. But so we know that.
Hold up. Do you think they're taking measurements to the horizon?
Between 0 to 15 or even 0 to 20, we know that those are not 1 degree per 1 hour per 15 degrees.
We're not taking measurements of any celestial object near the horizon. to work these out.
Yeah, but you don't have the 1 degree per 69 through the whole thing to claim that it is through the whole thing. That's the point Jeremy was just bringing up.
Are you saying we don't have enough?
Well, I don't know. He could say his argument. I'm just kind of adding that in.
It's been measured. In fact, let's go to Wikipedia history page for meridian arc measurements.
Well, I'm just saying you're deriving a distance from a hole through a 90 degrees with digits or with results that you actually don't have measured through the whole spectrum. So you're making a leap of faith or an assumption that it goes through the whole spectrum. And I was saying for sure between 0 to 20 degrees, they definitely are not going to match 1 degree per 69 miles.
Sorry, when you say 0 to 20 degrees, do you mean latitude or elevation angle?
What? The 90 degrees all the way through
That's
the
a
whole.
good clarification.
Yeah, because you're saying 0 to 20 degrees like they haven't been measured. I'm saying they sent people to Ecuador, which is 0 to 3 or whatever.
0 to
But you seem to
20.
be saying,
Yeah, 0 to 20 and elevation angle have not been measured for 1 degree per
that's
69.
not what they're doing. They're not using low down celestial objects to do that.
But I'm telling, but here's the thing, dude. If you're going to say 90 degrees through the whole, all the way from, let's say, the South Pole to the equator, or from the equator to the North Pole, if we're going to say those are split into 90-degree sections, the thing is that if you're not measuring all the way through from 0 to 90 and getting every single one to then add them all up and say, okay, now I can derive a distance to then give these other claims like you're doing with flight paths and things. The point is that if it hasn't been measured through the whole range, you're only using partial measurements in the middle range, like, maybe 30, 40, 50 degrees in there. And then you're extrapolating out that it is that through the whole spectrum and then making an entire Earth distance claims based upon that.
So
And when you don't have measurements
Ecuador.
through the whole thing, it potentially is problematic to make claims about these grand distances like you're doing. That's all.
Right, we've got Ecuador. Right, that was 0 to 3, whatever. Red's rhetoric. I forget where he was, like northeastern somewhere, central north, whatever. So I don't know, 40 to 42. Paris when they did the actual measurement of the meter. We got Lapland, which was 67, I think it was. So you're saying with these measurements, and they're all consistently in the order of 69 miles per degree, you're saying we can't extrapolate from those?
First of all, if you are saying that it's 69 miles per, you're saying there's no refraction.
I'm not saying that at all.
Well, then how are you measuring this then?
Right, usually either by the sun or the pole stars, or the celestial pole.
Yeah, but you're saying there's no refraction. You're looking at it, right?
I'm saying we're not making measurements close to 0 degrees elevation. Right, minimal refraction, like an arc minute, but at 45 degrees.
Yeah, so that's not a degree per 69
right, but if you
miles.
go from 45 degrees
in an arc minute, right?
Right. Understood. Understand. I understand, Jeremy. Right. But if you go from 45 degrees, where the refraction is an arc minute, and you then do a meridian arc to 46 degrees, the refraction changes by fuck all.
Yeah, it's just not going to be. No, it does. It changes the more you go higher or lower. It changes. What are you talking about?
If you go from 45 degrees elevation to 46 degrees elevation, the refraction hardly changes at all.
Okay, but it is going to change, and it's not going to be a 69 mile
By how
degree. In fact,
much?
it's going to change more. It's going to change more. The more you just said you're not making measurements anyway, so I don't know what we're even arguing about.
Right. Let's go to find some refraction tables, shall we?
Are you making measurement? Refraction tables aren't measurements. That doesn't tell you which way the light's bending.
Refraction table.
Yo, that's not a measurement, my guy. It doesn't tell you which way the light's bending. There's only one thing that tells you which way the light's bending.
You don't know
measurement
which
of
way
which
the
way the
light's
light's bending. You're not even listening, or
All right, so here.
did you hear what anything I said? Yo, go on mute if you're just gonna Google shit.
No. All right, so
You're
between
just mumbling through me. I'm trying to lay my shit out, and you're just mumbling through me. the
Yeah,
whole
I
time.
heard you. Right. Between 45.5 degrees and 49 degrees elevation, it's 0.1 of an arc minute.
Okay.
Right. So measuring a meridian arc, the refraction's not really a factor.
Oh, it's not going to be a degree per hour. It's not going to be a degree per 69 miles, though.
It'll be very, 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 very close. Refraction will be negligible.
Negligible. And the measurement
Yes.
will be nominal. How'd you measure the distances?
Jesus, Jeremy.
How'd you measure the distances?
Yeah, not having this conversation.
You need a distance, right? Do you need a distance or no? You gotta go 69 miles? You gonna go 1 mile? You gonna go a piece of it? How far did we go?
I mean, I don't know if how much contesting that, like how far we can go with. I mean,
Top five.
is Ruhiv backing out? Let's just take your that your
I'm not-
distances are fine. Let's just take the
I'm
1
not
degree.
entertaining Jeremy's bullshit. So there you go.
Well, I mean, if you say the distances are fine, we're on a globe. We could just pack it up.
No, but the distance might be 6210 miles between the poles and the equator on a flat Earth as well. So that's why.
Kind of up to you to define a scale for your dual pole. Like I said, I'm just going 1 degree per 69 miles.
I doubt it's very far off because if you go from like the equator and you drive all the way north and you use your odometer and verify it to to what any person could do, and you drive all the way up to like I think you can go as far as like 80 degrees north, just like through to a public city, and if you measure that distance, you're gonna get, you know what I'm saying? Like how far off could it really be? Like they claim it's 6,210 miles, so I don't, and which is the 1 degree per 69 all the way through the spectrum. So I don't have any reason to like strongly discount that distance is probably pretty close. Like I don't know how far off could that really be? Like could they really be hiding 1,500 miles? I doubt it, or 2,000.
No.
So yeah, but the thing you were doing before, I mean, dude, the dual pole is pretty comparable in a lot of ways to what the globe would be. So that, like, if there is any model that they could have taken what the Earth is and then lied to us that it was a globe, it would be like a dual pole planar Earth because it has the two like hemispheres essentially. And I mean, the way the graticule is laid out, I don't have any way to claim that it, any map or like debate with you because you're going off of the globe that's given to you from sources that have like whatever they claim like a higher authority of data collection in a way, and you're going off that and then backing that. And so in order to really like validate whether that's true or to get what the actual truth is, we would have to go out and validate these these actual distances physically, tangibly in the world. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of, when they take the graticule, just like they can take the two star fields and they can put them into two circles, like the two circular planispheres, one for the southern stars, one for the northern. Well, you have one for the southern land, one for the northern, overlaid under those stars essentially. And they claim that those are two hemispheres of a globe, but if they're actually just two circular portions on a planar surface, then there's going to be a lot of similarities in terms of the distances. So I don't see why you're getting it that different off if you're just going off the degrees and latitude and you're going to use the 1 degree per 69. However many degrees that is, like you're saying, between Sydney and LA or whatever you're doing, would be the same calculation.
No.
If you're just going off if you're just going off that raw number, if you're going to go off of like different flight paths and directions, then that would start to change it.
One sec.
The bearing, there will be some differences in bearing, but just raw distances. I mean, it's still the same graticule.
See the picture posted?
Yeah.
All right. That yellow line, I'm saying, is the scale for this map. And that is 20,000 kilometers. Right? And that's my ruler stick. I stick that ruler stick between Sydney and LA in a straight line, and it's what, 24,700.
You do know there's no straight lines on the surface of a sphere, right?
Right. Well, this map is a representation of, allegedly a representation of a flat Earth. So I don't care about what's on the sphere.
Yeah, and I'll post
I'm
this.
not looking at any pictures. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll post this, which I'm not, again, claiming this is the map or whatever. I think this is the Lambert one. But just to give you a comparable for some kind of a dual pole comparable, see, I threw those numbers on there. So that would be like your 6210 miles between the poles and the equator on both sides. And that would add up to your 20,000 kilometers. And then east to west, I mean, I put 12K, 12K, which would make the 24,000 if it is that. But yeah, so that yellow,
What shape?
the white or yellow line or whatever it is on yours that connects the poles would be potentially the comparable to some, to having a north and south pole, and then distances from there to the equator being that 6210. That's how it would be spread out. So that's still comparable.
Right, but that map is then not to scale, right? It's got to be oval shaped.
Oh, I don't know. Well, you mean the 12K one, the equator?
Yeah, they look roughly the same as the
Like oblate,
6000.
like an oval, like an oblate spheroid.
Yeah, but I hear you. I mean, I don't know that the equator. I mean, that's another topic, kind of the 24,901 miles number, 40,000 kilometer thing. So, but we're just talking. I thought we were talking about from the poles to the equator, the 6210, 1 degree per 69. I'm just saying that's that 20,000 kilometers of the one you just posted before that, of that white or yellow line or whatever color that is, going from pole to pole. So, ooh yeah, getting oblate with it. That's fine. Yeah, but we're just talking about north to south right now. We're not really talking about the equator. I'm just saying that's the comparable. I'm not trying to make it some huge dramatic argument because I'm not claiming I've measured those things. I'm just saying that that's if the distance, if you have two poles that you can travel, like you can go from the equator all the way to the North Pole, you can go from the equator all the way to the South Pole. There's obviously a distance in physical reality of what that distance is. So the globe claims it's 6,210 miles. And I'm just saying on a planar surface, it also could be that same distance, 6,210.
Yeah, I think it is 6210 between the North Pole and the equator.
Yeah, and Polaris will start to set at that distance, so that would imply that the circular dome of vision, as it were, or the hemispherical dome of vision would be limited at about 6,210 miles, which would make sense because if you double that, you get 12,000, which is half of what they claim the circumference is, which however the circumference works out, of what it would be, that distance is roughly half of the sun cycle. So you get day and night based on that, which on the globe, they're going to say, okay, yeah, 12,000 miles times 2, 24, the circumference. So half of the ball is 12,000. Then the other half is 12,000. But over a planar surface, if we see in that 12,000, because 6210, like if you're on the equator, it'd be 6210 to Polaris, and that would be like right at your horizon or setting. But then if you look south at the same time, or you just turn around and look south, it'd be 6210 to Sigma Octantis, which would be like either barely visible or not visible, unless you started going south, and same with Polaris. So that gives you like that 12,000 mile radius of vision.
Well, I only just realised that this is a Pac-Man sun as well. Like, what happens on the equinox? The sun's way over to the left and then magically appears on the right.
If you're asking me that, I'm not saying that. If you look at this image, it shows how it would not have to Pac-Man. It would either go north or south.
So it does it super, super quick. If the sun is actually on the left and there's an observer in the Philippines or wherever, which way is he looking?
Wait, what are you asking? I mean, you can have two rotations without any Pac-Manning. That's what like an electric field is. But what were you?
Let's say the sun's GP is way over on the left on the equator, where the W is, and there's an observer in the Philippines or Indonesia, wherever. Which way is he looking to see the sun?
Wait, what is sorry, what's your scenario again? Are you referring to the one that I just posted that shows the circles, or?
No, you're 42 minutes past.
Oh, okay, let me scroll up there. Okay.
All right, so the sun is where the W is, Right, that's the GP of the sun. We have an observer where the E is. Which way is he looking to see the sun?
Well, they call Japan the land of the rising sun.
Okay. Which way is he looking to see the sun?
For it rising, be east.
Yeah. Right. Where is the sun? To the west.
Yeah, at what time?
Whenever the sun is over that point in the west. All right. The sun's GP is the W. The observer is the E. Which way is he looking to see the sun?
I think what Geo means is, should he even see the sun at that time?
He's looking
Yes,
up,
it would
dude.
be his
That's what the
sunrise.
sun is. The sun's always up. What type of question is
Okay.
it?
It would be near sunrise for the observer in where the E is. So which way is he looking?
Up, motherfucker. Damn.
No, he's looking to the east, which is off the map. The sun is behind him, according to this map.
The sun's never in the east for anybody in the evening.
It's his sunrise. The sun is where the W is. That would be his sunrise.
You're claiming the sun rises from the west?
No, I'm saying this map would mean that he's looking west to see the rising sun. When clearly the sun at sunrise is in the east. In reality. This is not that difficult.
Northwest, east, and south on that map versus in reality are different.
Right. Okay, bro.
See, look, you're not even paying attention because I just said something you should agree with, and you just said, okay, bro.
Two suns, B-ball. Yes. Multi-suns.
Where'd you get two sons from? Just B-ball for life in the chat?
Yeah. Yep.
Or just a continuous circuit, which is how electricity works. The circuit of the sun.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to go out. I mean, the thing that map changes is the Pacific Ocean. It's essentially the Pacific Ocean is a ring around the outside instead of Antarctica being a ring around the outside. Because on a flat plane with a graticule, you're going to end up having something around the outside. So like when you do the projections with a Antarctica, you get Antarctica as the ring around the outside. This one essentially makes the Pacific Ocean the ring around the outside, like the Pacific Rim. So yeah, so there would have to be some way in which like there would have to be some anomalous components to the Pacific Ocean in this one, which is interesting how the international date line is so jagged, the way that it goes through the Pacific. But yeah, go ahead.
It just blew my mind calling it the Pacific Rim, Geo, because that's a common term for a lot of those areas.
Yeah. Yeah, I had said that when we've been talking about this kind of type of layout. I had said Pacific Rim, and yeah, I kind of had made that link in my mind just because, yeah, people refer to that. But I mean, is there actually a Pacific Rim around the plane? Because I mean, they say that that's the blue side of the ball. Like half of the globe Earth is the Pacific Ocean. So instead of it being the backside of a ball, is it actually a rim around the outside? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that gets into how the sky works. Like we were talking about other components, like some of the basic distances between the poles, and then trying to calculate the 1 degree. I hear you on that point of the sun at the equinox. The one image I posted that shows the circles that look kind of oblate when they get closer to the equator, but then they're very circular at the poles. I think that's pretty interesting. But yeah, like when the sun is just like right on the equator and it's rising directly east and west for everybody. I mean, I hear you. Like, I mean, in like the Book of Enoch talks about the sun going in and out of portals. I wouldn't really like invoke that in like a debate type thing, but that is interesting. Also, in like in the Quran, it talks about like the sun having its like final setting place in the west, and then that actually like resets and rises in the east, and then also that connection of like the land of the rising sun. So I don't know. I mean, you'd have to go out into the Pacific and see exactly like the sun occurring. But there's also a possibility that if it works like a circuit, like it could actually be part of like a whole the whole circuit of the sky, to where it could like. I'm not saying it is doing this, but it could in theory like. I don't know. It gets into what you think the sun actually is. Like, is it a physical object or is it a? We were talking earlier, like you know how like sometimes like one person can be seeing like those like an amazing sundog, like a profound sundog, but somebody who's to the east or west or even on the other side, like 180 degrees, they won't see it.
It's a hole in the firmament.
Yeah.
Look, why don't you see the sundog from all positions if it's actually if it's actually creating that? It's like observer dependent. But yeah, we were talking earlier. Is the sun actually a hole in the sky above, letting through the light?
You seen any hydrogen alpha photos of the sun?
Yeah, actually, I've been looking at some of the ones Crow 777's been posting lately, and he shows some pretty dramatic looking sun effects
Yeah.
that he gets from his own cameras. Yeah, it looks like some kind of a plasma reactor.
Close enough.
You'll go with that?
Sure. Beats better than a fucking hologram. Yeah, Wolfie's got a hydrogen alpha as well. He sticks some photos in the chat occasionally. I've got to say the chat's quietened down over the last few months. The old WhatsApp group. Oh, here's a good one.
Who, with Wolfie?
Yeah, a few
yeah.
people. Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that he might kind of fade away a little bit. I don't know. You think he's going to be active into the coming years? He kind of did his thing.
I think it's more that Flat Earth is dying. Getting less interesting.
For who? I mean, our activity hasn't changed over the years. It's pretty similar than it was even 2 years ago. Might even be a bit more. It fluctuates though. But it seems like there's kind of been at least on here, but yeah, I don't know what's going on out there. I mean, there's always been fluctuation. Dude, when they did all the censorship of like flat earth stuff in 2019, that definitely quieted stuff down when they did all that censorship.
Mm.
Yeah, flat Earth is dying, but you're still coming around, Riv.
Yep.
Roofy's just here for the femboys.
Yeah, it might have some
Are there any
ups and
femboys
downs,
around?
but I'll tell you right now, it's not going anywhere.
I heard Sinklenzer likes to dress up a little bit.
Did you say, are there any around?
Yeah, we're gonna get to the bottom of this, Riv.
Right. Are you though?
Yep. You wait and see.
Hey, Blue Shark, you got an enemy right in front of you. Sorry.
Happy New Year, Larry. If we all think it's a new year, but you know what I mean.
Oh, where's Wally? Tried some ISS photography the other night. He was a bit overexposed.
What does the ISS mean for you, Rufy?
What does it
What
mean?
is it? Yeah, what is it a symbol
Good,
of?
good proofsies of the globe. I've been writing some stuff in the last few days trying to capture a satellite under the ISS, and it's fucking hard. Like, first of all, you got the Sen. The Sen's got the 4K live stream, right? But they fucked up their downward facing camera. They fucked it up in that it receives too much light when the sun is rising. So when it's at 90 degrees to the camera, and it gets fucking shithouse lens flare. And that's also the ideal time to spot a satellite, right? Is when it's dark on the ground, but the satellite's still in light. But I'll show the lens flare. It's fucking insane. Where is it? So lens flare. I'll stick a link in the chat. Link in the chat.
You can just think the military is completely lying to the whole world about the shape of the Earth, and you can be in the military, and they're not going to have any issue with that if you're not vocal about it.
I mean, I just don't think it's that easy to lie about the shape of the Earth. It's because you're talking about like going outside, and anybody can go outside and verify what the shape of the Earth is, regardless of any government entity.
With what, sticks in the ground?
Sticks in the ground, the stars, the sun, the moon, those things. You can figure it out yourself.
What do you think would happen if some military personnel went online, like for the world to see, and was saying that the Earth is flat? Wouldn't
Well,
the American government think that that's like making all the other countries think that American military have lost their marbles or something?
yeah, it would be that, yeah. Because again, you don't need a government entity to figure that out. If my superiors came to me and said, "Hey, the government's lying about the shape of the Earth," I would tell them they're fucking wrong.
Really, you would debate your
Absolutely.
superiors on it?
Absolutely.
Would you even get, if they were going to say they were going to kick you out? Would you get kicked out for it too? Would you?
Yeah. I mean, shit. Yeah. No. I mean, I don't think they would be kick me out. I would just say, "Hey, I don't agree."
You really think it's a globe that strongly? Like you're that compelled by it?
I mean, it's not that I believe. It's the evidence that draws me to that conclusion.
Or how you interpret the evidence? Because obviously, like others might interpret it differently. The claim.
I mean, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the way I interpret it. I guess you could say that. I agree with that.
All right. Well, if the truth just is what it is, like if we agree there's an objective truth, if you're wrong about the shape, like how much currently are you considering that you might actually be wrong about it? If you are wrong about it, if that makes sense.
If I'm say that again, say it again.
Well, like if you're wrong then about it, then how much are you currently considering what the actual truth is? If it's opposite of what you currently think.
I'm not sure I know how to answer that question.
It's kind of the same way of just saying how possible do you think it is that the Earth is actually a stationary plane? I mean, it's a pretty similar way of asking.
I honestly I think it is impossible because of the observations.
So 0? You think it's 0?
I think it's pretty much 99.9% a globe. I would there would have to be some sort of magic going on, making it look like a globe, but it's not actually a globe. Because everything matches a globe, right? In my perspective, in my my reality. When I look at sunsets, when I look at phenomena, to me that matches the globe. And now to somebody else, they could come up with some other, I don't know, hey, it looks like this because of the sun is refracted because of the atmosphere makes it look like this and this and this and that. But like when I just look at the surface, it only everything makes sense when you put things on a globe. I think the thing is like some people want it to be flat so bad that they're willing to look at everything and then just somehow interpret it as being flat in a way that they can agree with, if that kind of makes sense. People just don't want to be wrong after all this time.
It's from those videos we watched. Oh, if only humanity can learn the truth, we would all come together in 2 weeks and overcome that. That's not going to happen.
2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Mm.
Dude, everybody would come together if everyone realized the Earth is not a globe. Everyone would come together. We'd all be on the same plane.
I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't act like a flat plane, though. That's the problem.
Your audio is so much better.
Yeah, I took my Bluetooth headphones off, so yeah.
I could not get Venus next to the sun.
Why not? How close is it right now?
Oh, it's further away than the sun, so it's in full phase. But the tricky part was, like, I knew where to point, but then I knew where to point with the solar filter on, right? And then I'm going to take the solar filter off so that I don't I've got to point away from the sun. Yeah, it was difficult, and I failed.
Hey, Ruhev, why don't you go to Antarctica next year or this year?
Because I don't want to.
Take a cruise to the North Pole this coming summer.
I don't want to take a cruise anywhere.
And you should get the 24-hour sun.
No.
Like when the sun is at 23.4 degrees and it stays at 23.4, and then you should show that you're actually at the North Pole and get the 24-hour sun and show that the elevation angle matches that you're actually at the North Pole. Take one of those cruises and verify it.
And then 6 months later, go to the South Pole and do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
You'd be a semi-legend.
Then they claim you faked it.
Yeah,
No, but that's not, none of that is shape exclusive though. You need to do an actual test. I mean, if you want to show something about the shape or the motion, you'd have to
What
actually do
test?
What would be shape exclusive?
yeah, something that would actually be shape exclusive, because that's obviously not just seeing the
But
sun.
what test though? What would be a good test? Because it seems like every test that's been done is not good enough.
Correct.
And no flat earther seems to be willing to step up and say, "Hey, this is a good test we should all do." That will be conclusive.
Post the line.
Oh, here we go.
Why is that crazy? It's too difficult for the government, right?
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm gonna miss what you said.
Said post the line. Post line.
What's the line? Now, I think they tried that years ago. Some guy actually, from what I remember, there was a guy that was they were going to do force a line, but there was a guy that was holding all the money for that, and he ran off with the money. It was like $7,000.
Yeah, I mean, whether I've heard different stories, but I'm not going to debate that. Yes.
No, the guy made a video about it. He went on and said, "Hey, I'm sorry about it. I'm going through hard times. Yes, he literally ran off with all the money."
I mean, I heard that like they threatened his job, but it doesn't matter, dude. I don't care. Who knows? Maybe you're right. Who knows? The fact is, someone should do it. Someone like the government should do it. Elon Musk should do it. Anyone.
But I
can
mean,
do
there's other ways though. There's other ways than trying to build.
That's the conclusive way. That's the way that everyone would agree.
Yeah, but that's
done properly. It was transparent. It's not. It's nothing in the budget for the government. The government's budget. It's literally nothing. They could easily do it.
Yeah, but there's other ways and to build. There's other ways and to build some structure. Than to build some rigid structure. I don't know, some odd miles, some structure that will be like a tangent to the surface of the Earth, that would cost way too much money. There's other ways that are way cheaper than to figure this out.
For us, yes, but not for like the powers that be, and the fact that it doesn't.
My, how
All
the
of them-
tables have turned. Now who's it not good enough for?
It's never been good enough. Like, why would you want to do something like that? It just doesn't make any
That is
sense.
obviously good enough that everyone would accept it. Every Glob Earther would accept it. If that was done
Well,
properly,
spend-
transparently, and there was no curve detected, everyone would accept that, and then we'd have to move on to the next.
Why not just take a picture of it from outer space?
Well, if they did that, that would be. I mean, that's not a conclusive scientific test, but in order to just convince me, if they had proper footage, the Earth
So you could do it yourself with your own
spinning,
camera. That would,
when they
you
send,
can't deny your own camera, right?
you know, when they send those lesbians up into space, they should send them up with like a bunch of Instagram models who can take different angles of the spinning Earth.
No. You yourself with your own camera.
So, who's sending me up there, bro?
No, you send a balloon up, your own balloon. You know, get a decent balloon, get a decent camera, and send it up.
They've already got
Take
all
a
this
picture
high
of the
altitude balloon footage, and I'm not even gonna go there.
I mean, that's why is that good? Why is that not good enough?
You don't see even at that height. You're not, according to Neil deGrasse
But you could
Tyson,
at least see the curve, right?
not supposed to see the curve apparently at that height.
But you would.
According to Neil deGrasse Tyson, they have sent it up.
Okay,
They sent up,
well, you don't have to believe what he says, right? You can just do it yourself.
no, I mean, he according to the Globe math, you shouldn't see it at that height anyway. Even I,
Okay, so you don't have to believe what he said. You just do it yourself.
I was being rhetorical, but even according to the official Globe math, if you just do the Globe math, you shouldn't see the curve at
So
that.
you're gonna believe the official Globe math and believe what Neil deGrasse Tyson said?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
official
don't
Globe math.
believe Neil deGrasse Tyson for a start.
Yeah, for one. You could
Sorry.
get yourself a decent camera, right?
I do
Get a
have this-
balloon. Like I think they sell like kits. You can like a high altitude balloon. You can fucking buy them on Amazon.
Yeah, Dwayne Kellum did it, people. Remember?
Yeah, Dwayne Kellum did it several times.
Dude, there's already lots of high altitude balloon footage, and there's no curve detected. I'm not blaming that as a Globe debunk, because according to the official Globe math, you shouldn't see the curve at that height. So it's all good. So that's fine.
Please show us some of this balloon footage.
Dude, just fucking go on the internet. It's all over the place.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it too. The problem is the ones that you guys always show are the ones that are like specifically cut at the specific time where it looks flat because they're using a wide angle lens, because the horizon, when you put it in the center of the frame, is
I'm
going to be flat.
not talking about like flat Earth fucking balloons, but I'm just talking about random high altitude. I have like a whole fucking playlist of high altitude balloon footage from YouTube. I actually could just send you a link to a bunch. These are not even done. They're not even done by.
Let's go through them.
They're going to be probably the ones where it's just only a few second clip where it shows it look like it's flat, not the entire flight.
Bro,
let's go through and ask which camera was involved and where the horizon is in the frame. Do you want to do that?
Do you think that there should be curvature at that height?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. Post it. Go ahead. Post the one you're talking about.
All right. Cool. Give me a sec.
A fisheye can only make something that's flat appear curved, but it can't make something that's curved appear flat.
They show the same curve from ground level. Why wouldn't they think it would happen with a balloon 180,000 foot up?
Are you inserting that the horizon rises with elevation to eye level?
I don't think anybody
It doesn't. So Bobby Boone, we've got to see the source, not just your cherry-picked frame from the video.
Yeah.
I like how Roofy put his cape on, swooped in, and saved you from that embarrassment.
Saved what? What are you talking about?
To be fair, I probably walked over people. Sorry.
No, we're waiting on this guy to post this video where it shows the flat Earth from high altitude.
Give me a sec. You're gonna have to wait like 5-10 minutes.
Is it gonna be the full flight?
I'm trolling my YouTube favorites. Give me a sec.
Is it going to be the full flight, or is it just like a 5-second clip?
Dude, drop the attitude, bro.
I
post what I have. It is what it is. It's
okay. All right.
The entire video. I'm gonna post the entire video. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not trying to steal anything, bro. Who gives a fuck? I don't care.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
We will. In fact, I've got some memes ready. All right, FE memes 2. I hope you post the U2 spy plane footage. So I'm ready to go with those ones.
I mean, if it's such great evidence, it should be readily available. Like you should have that shit like saved on a playlist.
I do. I just fucking save all the videos, but I save a bunch of other videos as well. I don't only look at high altitude balloon footage videos on my YouTube. That.
So, B-Ball, the point whatever 1% that you think the Earth could be stationary and planar, that's what keeps you in this?
What's that?
You said you're like 99.9% sure it's a globe. So the 0.1 that it could be planar and stationary for you, that's what keeps you in the discussions and involved and seeking?
No, nobody's. I'm not seeking anything. I'm just. I know it's a globe, and just trying to help people that have questions.
You're just doing like a public service, you feel? That's what you're...
That's a good question for you,
If that's
Gio.
what you want to call it. I don't know. We're just. A lot of us are just kind of interested in the conversation. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Gio, you know how you're always asking us, you're here because, there's this lingering doubt in your mind. A question for you, what will you think of us when you realize it's a globe and people have been trying to help you for a decade? Like what? How do you feel then?
All right, well, you've entertained a lot of my hypotheticals, so I'm happy to do the same. In terms of a hypothetical, let's say that you absolutely, just hypothetically, that the Earth was a sphere. With all due respect, like let's say that we all came to that tomorrow, like, oh, okay, it's a sphere. Dude, I would think that what you guys have been doing is, I mean, I don't want to be rude, but it's strange to say the least, because I'll tell you, if I came to it being a sphere, I would never sit and talk about flat Earth. That would be so, even the way they claim, it's outdated. We've known this for over 2,000 years. If it was just such a basic truth about reality, I can't imagine being interested in it for one more second of debating people that would be incorrect about it. What would be the purpose of that?
Well, how could you sit here and debate? Like it goes both ways, right? You're sitting here debating whether or not it's a globe, and you've created a channel around it and a server around it. So how much worse are we than you?
Well, no, but there's a difference because, well, I mean, the server is not only about necessarily the shape of the Earth per se, and it's not necessarily for like in terms of anything with the globe. I mean, it's obviously, I mean, that's kind of more of a multi-layer in terms of like the platform, but we do talk about a lot of these topics. I don't have any interest in really talking about a globe though. Like you guys bring it up or we discuss it. Obviously, it is like the mainstream model. But it is different because if the Earth were a globe and the way that the whole world, like the mainstream already claims that it's like a 2,500-year-old, they figured it out long time ago, and all these guys, Copernicus and Newton and all that. If it was that much of a foundational thing that actually was true, it would be such an overpowering truth, and it would just always be the truth. Therefore, if people thought it was flat, like some small group, I can't see any reason to go actually try to talk to them or try to convert them back. Like it would be such a small number anyways. And the globe it should just be such strong evidence that it wouldn't need any defense. Like it wouldn't need defending.
Well,
the truth would just be what it is. Whereas on the flip side, those of us that are saying it's not a globe or some say it's stationary and planar, obviously like that is what draws us to this, is meeting others, talking to others, trying to get more figure stuff out. While we're doing that, you guys pop in and want to debate the globe, and so we debate the globe. But like if the globe is not really brought up, we don't really discuss it. Like it's not like Jeremy and I sit around. I mean, maybe sometimes it's brought up or whatever. It is the mainstream model. But I'm saying for the most part, like we're actually just moving forward on doing everything we're doing, and then the globe guys pop in, and we debate it. But it's not like that's not like the focus necessarily. It's just like it's an ancillary to what we're saying. People want to come and debate it, and yeah, there's interest on both sides to have the discussion. I'm not saying it's one-sided. But it is different because like we're saying something obviously against the mainstream and then wanting to find others and wanting to talk about it. And So that's different than going off the thing that already is the mainstream that you think is so obvious, and then going to this small group and trying to like convert them, or small, in comparison to the whole, and being into something you think is false, whereas we're into something we think is correct. So it's
I
kinda
don't know
come-
about this server, but FE is 80% talking about the globe, and Globers defending their model. So naturally, there would be Globers when the flat Earth discussions are around. Flat Earth discussions are very rare in flat Earth. That's why people get irate, and not when I say people, I'm not saying necessarily you guys or this server, but if you ask for give me a map, give me a model, that almost like that question isn't even taken literally. So flat Earth discussions is Globers coming and proving their evidence for the globe, prove the ISS, prove this, prove that, and so that's why there's Globers around.
Or you want to just be like, hey, is it flat? Yep, it's flat. All right, it's flat. What would you want to discuss?
Yeah,
I've
but
tuned
how
in more
you're
times
out of this
speaking
stuff,
about
man.
like uh talking about energy, talking about China versus the US, Canada. We talk more about more other stuff than actual globe earthers, unless a globe earth is here that wants to
Yeah, but
try to advance on.
that's kind of what this server was established on. I mean, unless it's different, Geo. Because this, you started this server right after Brandon closed his server, and that's kind of what it was about. Flat
No, he didn't
Earth.
really. He didn't. It wasn't. Well, I had been planning on launching this for a long time, and then Brandon's channel was going. I then launched this, and it did seem like he kind of only did like 4 or 5 more shows after that, and then he stopped. So I don't really know how that was like related exactly, because this had been a long time in the coming. But yeah, I mean, B-ball, obviously we talk about, I mean, if you look in like the welcome section, there's like a list of like a lot of the major topics, but we talk about a ton of topics. I mean, spirituality, religion, physics, different science things, obviously the earth, cosmology, all kinds of related topics, even like health and nutrition and, medical stuff. I mean, the whole wide range of all kinds of topics.
Yeah, that's good. Nothing's
But-
taken out of you for that. That's a good thing. And there's Globers here that come to listen to that as well.
But in terms
Also,
of-
also for a point of like credit towards UGO and like a discredit towards that last claim. For the whole past year or so since TFE, at least here in EA, it's been nothing but flat Earth dual pole, like trying to make it all make sense on flat Earth. So I don't think that's a fair thing to say.
No one's being unfair to flat Earth. No one right now that you guys are talking to is B-Ball, me, and Ruhif. None of us are being unfair to you. You're asking questions. You're getting the questions answered. Honestly, there's nothing unfair occurring. No one's criticizing you. No one's critiquing your character. It's just a conversation. No
Well,
one's critiquing this server and saying this server that. It's just very honest. So I don't know where this is coming from.
But we talk a lot about models and maps and all kinds of things, and about what the Earth is. I mean, I think
When you're hurt in a wreck, you want an attorney that